Hi everybody, it's Paul again here from Ballistic Blood Bullets, continuing on the show casing of my Laserdisc collection. And we have a Western here to start with, a good Hollywood classic, and that is Tombstone. George Pan-Cosmatos directed this one. One of my favourites. Stars some great guys. We've got Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. This really is a movie that Hollywood do their stuff, do it really well. It's a good film. It's over 2 hours long, but every frame of the film is filled with action sequences, and it's in the traditions of the old school 60s styled classic westerns. Very, very entertaining. Great one-liners in it, and particularly Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer put in great performances. So there we have it. Tombstone. Double disc. Very good. Next up, another Hollywood blockbuster, Twister. This one again is 2-disc special edition, CAV format, which is a format, if to those of you who are unaware, it enabled you to do special features and slow motion. There was a longer version disc that would just allow you to play the film, but with the CAV you're able to do the slow motion, still, fast forward, rewind, but you can do all those things now with DVD quite easily, but with Laserdisc back in the day it wasn't so straightforward, and these discs contained less information. When they had the CAV format, I think you got about 30 minutes per side, so that's why you sometimes had 2, even 3 or 4 discs playing on both sides, because you could only get half an hour's storage space on each side. Anyway, there's Twister. Good fun, good Hollywood movie. Here we have a bit of more dark horror, and that's Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions. A long time since I've seen this, but this again is the full director's uncut version, which from memory was substantially longer than the edited version, and this contains a lot of dark black magic, and stars Scott Bakula, who was later to become famous on TV and things like Star Trek's Enterprise and Quantum Leap. This is perhaps Clive Barker's best movie interpretation, but I'm sure others will say that Hellraiser deserves a place, which I agree with, but this one for me was very, very good, very enjoyable. Okay, classic Blade Runner. Superb. Harrison Ford, one of his greatest and most famous roles. Fabulous science fiction, one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. This is again on the Criterion Collector's Edition, so you're getting the very best version of the film. Taken from a Philip K. Dick novel. I think it was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Very cool title. We've got movie soundtrack by Vangelis, and of course directed by Ridley Scott. Just very quickly here as well, we've got a special edition of the collector's DVD set, which I'll show on a more detail later date. But that's a very cool box to have, as is this Laserdisc of Blade Runner. Okay, sticking with classic Hollywood movies, here we have Thelma and Louise, Susan Sarandon, Gina Davis. Great chick flick, but guys love this one as well. It's a very cool Ridley Scott movie where the stars of the movie are two action babes hitting their sort of early midlife crises, going out and causing havoc across the plains of America, and it ends on a sad note and a high action film, which I won't spoil for those who haven't seen, but it's one of those classic moments which really just typifies friends forever, friends to the end. Great film. Love Thelma and Louise. Pleased I got that one. Here we go with another great Hollywood production, which is really a high gloss B movie. It's Quentin Tarantino, Dusk Till Dawn, produced and co-directed by Robert Rodriguez. Two of those together can't really go wrong, and this is when they were able to afford George Clooney, just before George really hit big. But he came on board with this one with Harvey Keitel, and they produced what effectively was a two-part vampire movie, and very, very explosive movie it was, and quite gory. Good fun, love that one. Here we go with iconic action from Hollywood, the series of Die Hard. Die Hard with a Vengeance, number 3 I think in the series. Again, I would say this is a movie that if you take out Bruce Willis, it was a run-of-the-mill film, but his portrayal as John McClane is what makes the film, and without him it would have been just a run-of-the-mill movie, perhaps would have been half the budget, even less, been made straight direct to video, and lost in the memory very shortly. But with him in the role, Die Hard, John McClane, legend forever, and I think they're in the process of coming up with another movie soon. So do it soon, Bruce, otherwise you'll be too old for this action man stuff, but we still enjoy seeing you. Here we go with some Jean-Claude Van Damme. We like the Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he's on TV at the moment doing a behind-the-scenes show, which is actually big fun. It reveals all about his character and how he cares about the world and his love for dogs and his family. This one's Maximum Risk, stars the very gorgeous Natasha Henstridge, who I think from memory does show a little bit more skin in this one, which is very welcome. She's a very attractive young woman. Very good strong character actor as well. She put in a great performance in John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, which is a film that people overlook. I actually really, really enjoy it. So that's Van Damme with Natasha Henstridge. Maximum Risk. Okay, don't know how this one slipped in. Eddie Murphy, Metro. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It's a film again that's not shown that often. It's just one that I think has been left in the annals of time, that is overlooked. Eddie's not been on his game for quite some time, but from memory, I think, looking back and thinking back on this one, it was actually quite an entertaining film with lots of action in it. And they perhaps could have done with having this script for the Cop series that he was in, which slips my mind at the moment, Beverly Hills Cop, number 3, because that really was quite terrible. And perhaps if they'd put the story for Metro into Beverly Hills Cop 3, they might well have had a very, very good film. Right, here comes another guilty pleasure. Alec Baldwin, The Shadow, another movie that was really unfairly panned and overlooked. It's a Russell Mulcahy film, who did a lot of stuff in the 80s and 90s, and of course his most famous film is Highlander. But he's really struggling a bit these days and finding it hard to get back into the good books of the Hollywood moguls, which is a shame because he really is quite a stylish director. I think give him a half-decent script and a reasonable budget, he will produce a good film for you. Shadow, anyway, love that one. That's very entertaining. Here we go with an Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. True Lies. I really enjoyed the film, apart from the middle section, which I found really quite slow and plodding. And that's when he's with his wife Jamie Lee Curtis, trying to have his family sort of issues with her, and it just drags and plods. But the beginning, and particularly the end, is all out action. And I think this is a James Cameron movie, and they always talk about making a sequel to this. Perhaps it's one that now Arnold's back in the movie business, that he might actually give a shot. True Lies 2 perhaps might be on the horizon. Okay, I'm a huge fan of Chow Yun-fat and John Woo, and you really truly cannot get any better than The Killer. This was when Woo was at the top of his game. Chow Yun-fat, handsome, strong action lead from Hong Kong. Both of them together, superb. Criterion Collection, say no more. This one is very heavy, must be about 3 discs inside. But an absolute action-packed Hong Kong giant. And you really cannot go wrong. If you have one Chow Yun-fat film, one John Woo film to watch, this almost certainly is the one to go for. Absolutely superb stuff. Love it. There we go. Again with Geena Davis during her spell when she was an action leading lady. Long Kiss Goodnight. Early role for Samuel L. Jackson, but again in the mould that he made his name more recently famous for, and that was a kick-ass, badass mofo. But we love him. He really is a very cool guy, and each character he puts a real cool spin upon. Enjoy this one. It's a Rennie Harlin film. It was the time that Rennie Harlin and Geena Davis were married, or just about to be married, and they made quite a few films together, including a pirate movie, which I can't remember for the moment, which sank beyond all belief. Okay, here we go. Basic Instinct, Michael Douglas, Sharon Stone. I think it's Paul Verhoeven directed, and this is the Pioneer Special Uncut Edition. So it's got all its goodness in, all the naughty scenes, all the nudity, all the violence, and of course the infamous crossing and uncrossing of the legs scene by Sharon Stone, who knows how to open up to people, that's for sure. Basic Instinct. And just to close on this showing of Laserdiscs, 007, James Bond, GoldenEye, one of the films that shot Pierce Brosnan into the category of big movie star after his run of Remington Steele on TV, and good luck to him. He's done really well since, and GoldenEye, certainly as far as his role as Bond was concerned, was one of the best. So there we go, that closes this showing of Laserdiscs off. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Take care everybody, see you soon. Thanks a lot, bye bye.